In the middle of all of this, you have this COMEY story going on here, and whether that could be a big old distraction. We touched on in the beginning with the markets of what's happening right now, whether the investors seem to feel that this will get in the way of a healthcare fix that Jerry outlined there. Who better to ask than Martha MacCallum? She anchors the story on Fox News. I knew her when. Her people now have people. Good to see you, kiddo.
How are you?
No, I know it's not true.
It's good to see you.
Right, it's saying awful things. All right, but now they're saying awful things here about how far this goes for the White House, right? I mean, there's talk about a special prosecutor, a commission. We have House hearings going on, investigations, Senate hearings going on. Where's this going?
You know, since I'm in the business zone here, I would like to make a business analogy. And I think that President Trump is having a tough time making the transition from being a private company to being a public company. I mean, he now has a fiduciary responsibility to the American people. In the old days, he could fire someone, and that person would pretty much be gone from his life, right? They walk out the door, and that's over. The problem with what he did the other night for him is that he exacerbated the issue for himself. You know, a lot of people thought Comey should go. People have been saying that for a long time. He may always regret that he didn't do that on Inauguration Day. It would have been the cleanest time to sort of say, you know what, new day, new start, this is what we're going to do. And all of those same reasons still exist, and Democrats and Republicans have shared their disgruntlement with this FBI director over and over and over again. But by doing this the way it was handled, if anything, it has ignited the investigations. Now you have all of these folks on Capitol Hill determined to prove that they are going to do their job regardless of what the president wants or whether or not he's lopped off the current head of the FBI. So I don't know that the effect of that sort of what appears now to be kind of a visceral moment that led to this firing, even though it was based on things he'd been feeling for some time, will end up helping him or hurting him.
Now, I know when you interviewed her not too far back, I mean, this back and forth about the role of the Russians, it's always sort of stuck in his craw that it gets in the way of the story that he became president.
And it bothers
but he did.
Him.
No
absolutely.
one, even Democrats are saying we don't think this changed the outcome, even though Hillary Clinton kind of intimated that it changed the pace of the election. She'd be president today. But he can't let go of it, it seems.
He can't let go of it. He talks about it a lot. He references quite often the John Podesta angle, all of those angles. You know, Hillary Clinton did oversee a deal that gave away a lot of the uranium of this country, did not ever get the kind of attention that this is getting. It doesn't, you know, unfortunately in Washington, it doesn't always matter what the underlying story is, and this takes on a life of its own in terms of this investigation. Now there are things looking into financial connections. There may be nothing there. And I always think, you know, you can take a person's temperature a little bit to see whether or not the subject makes them nervous. I have never seen this subject make him defensive or nervous.
So do you buy these stories, by the way, he was, you know, yelling and shouting at the TV when you know, some of the comments
I think he was very unhappy with the way that the communications team rolled it out, and I think they can point the finger back at him and say, you gave us nothing. You know, we didn't have we didn't have 2.5 hours to kind of figure out our strategy.
So doesn't that prompt the kind of call for the very investigations he doesn't want to see?
Absolutely. It was a sloppy
Well, what do you see happening? Will there
night.
be a prosecutor? Will there be a commission?
I think this is not going away, and that was, you know, what I mentioned to him when I interviewed him a couple of weeks ago. So they do need to figure out a way to deal with this in a you know, they're behind the 8 ball on it right now. They've let the snowball get away from them, and I think this hangs around for potentially years, Neil, and they're going to have to find a way to try to change the dynamic of the story and get everybody focused on something else and get some more activity done. But they made it tougher for themselves this week, I think.
Martha, thank you very, very much.
Neil.
Martha MacCallum.